Have you ever left a social gathering and felt like something had been taken out of you? Not sadness, not anger, just emptiness. Meanwhile, someone else leaves the same room glowing, talking faster, laughing louder, already planning the next hangout. Same room, same people, same conversation, yet one feels fueled and the other feels drained. This is not about being shy or outgoing. Something deeper is happening. This video is for people who enjoy people, but feel tired by them, for people who replay conversations afterward, who need silence to feel like themselves again, for people who have been called antisocial or cold, when in reality they feel everything too much. If you believe energy is just about sleep or motivation, this is not for you. But if you have ever wondered why connection can feel nourishing for some and depleting for others, stay with me. This is not about labeling people or turning introversion into a personality badge. There is nothing broken about either response. No type is superior, no type is lacking. We are not here to change who you are, only to understand what your nervous system has been doing quietly all along. In the next few minutes, you will understand why socializing gives energy to some people and costs energy for others, why forcing yourself to be more social often backfires, and how to stop interpreting your exhaustion as a flaw. By the end, you will likely see your own social patterns with more clarity and far less self-judgment. As you listen, notice what happens in your body when you imagine a crowded room. Do you lean forward or do you feel yourself pulling back? That reaction is not random. We usually talk about energy as if it were petrol in a tank. You wake up with a certain amount. You spend it during the day. When it runs out, you collapse. But psychologically, that is not how energy actually works. Energy is not a substance. It is regulation. Think about two people walking into the same social space. Music is playing. Multiple conversations overlap. Someone laughs loudly across the room. Phones buzz. Faces expect reactions. For one person, this environment slowly brings them into balance. Their shoulders loosen. Their thoughts sharpen. They feel more like themselves the longer they stay. For another person, the same environment quietly raises the volume inside their body. Their jaw tightens. Their awareness spreads too wide. They start tracking everything at once. This is not about liking people. Both people might be enjoying the moment. The difference is what their nervous system needs to feel stable. Some nervous systems regulate through stimulation. They need input to settle. Sound gives structure. Movement gives orientation. Interaction tells the body it is safe and alive. For these people, silence can feel heavy. Empty rooms can feel unsettling. Too much stillness makes the mind restless. They feel flat or dull when alone for too long. Other nervous systems regulate through reduction. They settle when input decreases. Quiet allows their thoughts to organize. Stillness lets their body unclench. Depth feels safer than breadth. For these people, socializing is not neutral. It requires active processing. They are listening to what is said and what is not said. They notice shifts in tone. They feel emotional undercurrents. They manage facial expressions. They stay present. Even when they are laughing, their system is working. That is why the tiredness often arrives later, on the walk home, in the shower, the next morning. Not because the interaction was bad, but because it was activating. For one person, conversation acts like a stabilizer. It calms the nervous system. It brings coherence. For another, conversation is a stimulus. It wakes the system up, sometimes too much. Neither response is a flaw. Neither response needs fixing. They are simply calibrated differently. And once you understand that, you stop asking, "What is wrong with me?" and start asking, "What does my nervous system need to return to balance?" That question changes everything. When you are around other people, your brain is not just hearing words. It is scanning. It tracks facial expressions in real time. It reads pauses. It notices shifts in tone. It registers who is comfortable and who is not. It predicts how what you say will land before you say it. Most of this happens below awareness, but not for everyone. For some people, this processing is automatic. Their brain filters information without effort. Social input flows through them and out again. They leave a conversation feeling light because very little stayed inside. For others, nothing passes through untouched. A joke is analyzed for meaning. A silence is filled with interpretation. A change in posture is noticed instantly. Even warmth is processed. A compliment is replayed. A small rejection lingers. A slightly off response is remembered hours later. This does not mean these people are anxious. Many are calm on the surface, engaged, responsive, present. But presence comes at a cost. They are running multiple layers of awareness at once. What am I saying? How are they reacting? What is the emotional temperature of the room? Am I adjusting enough? Am I adjusting too much? This is invisible labor. It does not look like stress. It looks like normal conversation, which is why it is so often misunderstood. From the outside, they seem fine, social, capable, even charismatic. But internally, their system is absorbing far more data than it releases. This is why exhaustion does not show up immediately. It accumulates. By the end of the evening, their body wants stillness. Their mind wants one channel of input instead of 10. Their nervous system wants to close the loop. That is when the drained feeling appears. Not because something went wrong, but because something worked intensely. Other people leave energized because their system offloads energy through interaction. These people leave tired because their system holds energy in. Neither group is weak, neither group is fragile. They are simply processing social reality at different depths. And once you see this, you stop measuring your capacity against someone else's output because you are not playing the same game. From the outside, energy looks obvious. We assume that the person who talks more, laughs louder, stays longer, must be coping better. We assume that energy is something you show, but nervous system energy is mostly invisible, so the world learns to reward what it can see. Being available, being responsive, being easy to reach, being socially fluent. Workplaces praise collaboration. Friend groups value presence. Culture celebrates openness and speed. This creates a quiet pressure. People whose nervous systems regulate through stimulation fit easily into these environments. Their energy aligns with the demand. But people who regulate through reduction often learn to perform against their biology. They say yes when their system says slow down. They stay longer than their body wants. They push through fatigue because nothing looks wrong. And because they look fine, no one questions the cost. So when they finally withdraw, need space, cancel plans, they are misunderstood. They are seen as distant, unreliable, moody, unmotivated. Even they start to believe it. They compare themselves to others who seem endlessly available and conclude they are lacking something fundamental. But what is actually happening is quieter. Their system has been running above capacity for too long. Not in crisis, not in panic, just slightly overactivated every day. Eventually, the body demands regulation, and it does not ask politely. This misunderstanding cuts both ways. People who gain energy from socializing are often told they are superficial or attention-seeking, when in reality their nervous system genuinely stabilizes through connection. So both groups are misread, just in opposite directions. One is told to toughen up, the other is told to tone it down, but neither needs correction. What they need is permission to stop interpreting their natural regulation style as a personality flaw. When you realize this, you stop forcing yourself to match someone else's rhythm and start designing a life that respects your own. And that is not withdrawal, that is intelligence. This week, try this simple experiment. After socializing, do not ask, was that good or bad? Ask, what kind of energy did it require? Notice who leaves you clearer and who leaves you foggy. Not because anyone is toxic, but because different dynamics ask different things of your nervous system. This is data, not judgment. Feeling drained does not mean you dislike people. It often means you care deeply and pay close attention. Feeling energized does not mean you are shallow. It often means your system finds balance through connection. Both are forms of intelligence, expressed differently. If this helped you understand yourself with a little more kindness, that is the work we do here. You can subscribe if you want more psychology that feels human. Not clinical, not performative, just honest explanations for quiet experiences. We are not all charged by the same things, and we are not meant to be. Energy is not a moral trait. It is a response. And listening to that response is often the most respectful thing you can do for yourself and for others.